Okay, well, welcome everyone to the second easy webinar this year. Today we'll be going over the utility rebates and incentives for Indiana, Michigan Power, and NIPSCO. So just quick agenda, we'll just have a little welcome, introductions, and I'll explain a little bit about Energy Star Portfolio Manager, which should be helpful to some of their easy participants. And then we'll have Indiana, Michigan Power Go, NIPSCO, and then we'll have some Q&As at the end. So my name is Jack Reese. I'm one of the project managers here with the City of South Bend Office of Sustainability. And today we have Kelsey Poinsett-Jones representing Indiana Michigan Power and Kirby Dipert representing NIPSCO. And then a little bit about Energy Star Portfolio Manager. So for those who are not aware, Energy Star Portfolio Manager is a free online benchmarking tool provided by the EPA to allow organizations to measure and track their energy and water consumption, and then also see their overall greenhouse gas emissions. And then to get started, you can create an account through the website and then start entering your utility bill data to get some basic, or to add some basic information about your buildings. And then from there, Portfolio Manager will begin to graph your total usage as you enter more data. And then and then the graphs will also begin to show your yearly greenhouse gas emissions. Portfolio Manager metric that you can use the Portfolio Manager metrics to compare your building energy usage to other buildings if you have multiple buildings, or use it compared to the national medians in similar buildings across the country. And then certain properties can be rated between a 1 to 100 scale. And then anything above a 75 can also be considered Energy Star, or can be eligible for an Energy Star certification. And although most of the people that use Portfolio Manager are larger cities and universities that have multiple buildings, it can also be very beneficial, even if you only have one or two buildings, just to see how you're doing based on your total energy usage versus just looking at your utility bills and trying to understand it. But from there, we will start with Kelsey and Indiana Michigan Power.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here, and I'm really loving the partnership between Indiana Michigan Power and the South Bend Office of Sustainability. So I believe that this presentation is mostly geared toward the easy participants, but if there's any commercial industrial participants on the call today, I definitely want to talk to you after this call. So a little bit about me. I'm from South Bend originally. I went to Notre Dame, also IU Bloomington, and I've lived in Indiana the majority of my life. So I have a lot of familiarity with local businesses, and happy to work with each and every one of you to max out your rebates and save you as much kilowatt hour savings as possible. So I was on the team in 2023. We do have mandated kilowatt hour savings that we have to achieve for the state for Indiana Michigan Power. And we're off to a really good start in 2024. We do have a lot of rebate money to give away. So if you have any electrical projects that are coming up, any changes that you're looking to make in your facility, then definitely reach out. If anything having to do with electricity, and you have any questions for me, then just go ahead and reach out to me so that we can talk about what changes are going to be happening at your facility. Okay. So our energy efficiency program at Indiana Michigan Power is focused on delivering you rebates for any energy efficiency project that you have going on at your facility. To qualify, you have to be an Indiana Michigan Power customer and commercial industrial. So as long as you have a commercial meter on your facility, come and talk to us. And we'll go over what projects are going to qualify here shortly. Okay, and so who do we serve? Again, any Indiana Michigan Power customer, as long as you're commercial meter. So we focus on schools, colleges, universities. I saw there's some restaurants downtown. Definitely want to focus more on those commercial buildings downtown. If you're the public library, if you are a city building, healthcare, so hospitals, government buildings. Our top 50 accounts are going to definitely be focused on industrial accounts in the city. But parking garages are going to be huge for lighting rebates. And so if you're involved with a parking garage, definitely talk to me. And food and grocery, auto repair, hotels. Again, as long as you're a customer and you have a commercial meter, come and talk to me after this webinar. Okay, so how do we serve you? We have a huge customer base. There's a number of outreach specialists. I serve the South Bend territory and currently Elkhart as well. So in South Bend, if you have facility upgrades or you're looking to do any equipment upgrades, you can reach out to me and anyone on our team. You can also go to electricideas.com and go to the at work. And we have applications online there. So you can apply online through electricideas.com. I'll provide my email. You can reach out to me. And we do have contractors through our Trade Ally program. So we're really looking to get you fully connected, and then you'll get, money back on the projects as long as they qualify for our program. Okay, so, in terms of program benefits, I think there's going to be a number of benefits in terms of extending your equipment life. So we have a number of maintenance measures. One of our largest measures is for air compressors. So we have a find and fix air compressor project, and air compressors are considered the fourth utility. So we offer to that annually at no cost for our customers, and that would be an easy way to extend the equipment life for air compressors. We have chiller tune-up rebates as well. That's $15 per ton on chiller tune-ups. So if you're in a commercial building and you have a chiller and you're looking to get a tune-up, again, reach out to me. That would probably end up being about 75. It could be up to 75% cost coverage of that maintenance measure. But beyond that, if you have any lighting replacements, HVAC, we do offer rebates on occupancy sensors, exterior lighting, interior lighting. Refrigeration is another big one. So anything related to refrigeration, if you're a restaurant in the area, we can get you rebate money back on any new equipment upgrades. And then once you get money back on that equipment, you can now reinvest toward other upgrades. So we're helping you kind of consider projects that you might not have considered previously. And that's something that I'm seeing customers do more and more is say, hey, there was that $100,000 project. It was going to be a no, but now it's becoming a yes. So we want you to consider more and more energy efficiency projects through Indiana Michigan Power. Okay, so so we have two programs. We have a prescriptive program and a custom program. The prescriptive program, if you look at our application, which again, you can access online, or I can send you a PDF copy and send you, which measures you might be interested in. Our prescriptive measure program is a flat rate program. So we have already identified measures that are, let's say that they're the most common measures that are installed in facilities. And we have a flat rate incentive structure for lighting, HVAC, air compressors, refrigeration, commercial refrigeration. So we have a flat rate program. And if you go to the next slide, there's some qualifications to qualify for this program. So you have to have a 1-for-1 replacement. That's not going to be true for occupancy sensors. So if you're installing occupancy sensors, still reach out to me. This is not a one-for-one replacement scenario. Or if you're looking to it, I think occupancy sensors are a really good way to save money. I see a lot of facilities that are leaving their lights on 24/7, and man, that's going to be a really fast way to start saving some money. And you can qualify. We give you $20 per occupancy sensor. So that's not a one-for-one replacement. But if you're doing any LED lighting, so any lighting replacement, it needs to be one-for-one replacement. As soon as you go outside of that, one-for-one replacement, you're now going to qualify for our custom program, which I'll tell you about next. One thing that you need to, just on the prescriptive. So one thing you need to consider with prescriptive is if you have made a purchase, like look at the application. If you have made a purchase on our prescriptive program, we can incentivize you up to 90 days look back. So you can have purchased it up to 90 days ago, and we can still get you money back. I wouldn't advise that you reach out on, day 89, but we can certainly still talk to you even if it's a month out and you've already made the purchase. On those larger prescriptive projects, let's say you're doing a large lighting upgrade and it's one-for-one replacements, we're going to have to get a pre-approval on large replacements where the incentive is over $20,000. So make sure to reach out to me. If it's going to be a large project, just reach out before you purchase the equipment and before you make a final decision to move forward on that project. We do incentivize up to 75% of total project costs. So again, on those chiller tune-ups, that can oftentimes end up being 75% of the project. And you are entitled as an Indiana Michigan Power customer to up to $500,000 if you have 2 or more sites. And if you have 1 site, you're entitled $250,000 annually in rebates through our energy efficiency program for being an Indiana Michigan Power commercial industrial customer. Okay, so our custom program is kind of that spillover program, so if you're not doing that one-for-one replacement, anything that goes beyond that, you're now going to qualify for our custom program. And we have an amazing engineering team that does all of the custom calcs. So it's when you're applying for rebates through our custom program, it's as simple as I can help you fill out, page 4 of an application. The application looks really long, but we're going to need page 4 of the application, which is like customer info, contractor info, and project info. And then we're going to need specs on your equipment, which you're already going to have, quote, and a recent Indiana Michigan Power utility bill, and a W-9 to pay out. So these are all going to be material that you already have. You send it our way. It can be piecemeal. It can be all together. We'll process it for you. So we're a very efficient and fast-paced team, and we're working to make these projects work for you. Another important thing about custom is that anything that's new, if you're doing new construction or if you're doing an expansion project or renovation, again, reach out, submit an application, because we do incentivize on new construction, renovation, and expansion projects through our custom program. And how do we calculate rebates? We calculate rebates right now in Indiana through our 2007 ASHRAE 90.1 baseline. So if you have equipment operating from 2007, we're comparing 2024, if it's new, to 2007 standards. So most likely there could be some kilowatt hour savings calcs from there. It's going to be more energy efficient equipment. Okay, so the one thing to keep in mind for custom that's very important, you have to get a pre-approval. This is very important. I can't emphasize this enough. So before you purchase the equipment, if you're doing new construction, expansion, renovation, any lighting upgrades, reach out to me so we can submit an application before you purchase the equipment. It's really better that we just establish a relationship now and check in, quarterly or, twice a year to make sure we're capturing all the projects that you're doing and get applications submitted for anything that's upcoming. In our program, we have a payback period. So our project payback period must fall within 1 to 8 years. There are some projects that fall outside of that. And there's another program coming up that I'll tell you about that. If it falls outside of this, we have another catch-all program that can still get you some rebates. But yeah, so for the lighting has to be DLC or Energy Star rated. And again, energy set incentive caps is going to be the same thing. So again, you're $250,000 for annually per site, up to 75% rebates of the total project. Okay, it's going to be important for probably a lot of people on the call. So small business direct install program. This is a program that we're looking to promote more and more. So I'm really excited to talk about this one today with you. There's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to qualify through the EASY program, and I want to get you those additional rebates. So SBDI, Small Business Direct Install, is a way to get additional rebate money and promote small businesses basically through Indiana Michigan Power. So we have contractors that are specifically signed up in this Trade Ally program. So you have to work with a contractor who is signed up through this program. And as long as you work with them, your peak demand has to be less than 150 kilowatts. So just check your utility bill, make sure you qualify and reach out. And then your incentives cap at $10,000 per site. But the rebates are higher in general for each measure on this program. So again, if you qualify, check your utility bill, see if you qualify, and reach out if you're doing any upgrades. Okay, so I believe I mentioned that we have, if you meet anyone on our team, we're always running around. The reason why we're running around is because we're actually looking to give out money. It's a fun job. It's an unusual job in that way. So we want to put this incentive money in your hands. So if you are looking to make upgrades, talk to me again, and you can get a share of this money for some upgrades that you're looking to do in your buildings. This is an exciting program. So I mentioned catch-all program. That's one way to look at this program. This is a no-cost program for qualifying customers. So you have to use over 2 million kilowatt hour consumption annually. And as long as you qualify, sometimes we do sneak in like a little smaller consumption. So if you're over 1 mil and you're really eager to get in and you're motivated to save energy, you could still reach out and see if you could get into the program, or if you have multiple sites, there might be some way we could get you in still. But this is we get a level 4 engineer from ClearResult. That's the contracting company that I'm with. So we get a level 4 engineer into your door. They create an entire opportunity register of, he's kind of like an academic, and he's identifying all of the low and no cost opportunities. So he emphasizes behavioral changes in your facility with low and no cost changes to make in your facility to save energy. And this is a no cost program for you. It's like an ASHRAE level 2 to 3 energy audit that would typically cost you between $5,000 to $8,000. We offer through Indiana Michigan Power this to you at no cost for being a qualifying Indiana Michigan Power customer. And again, the way that I've really seen this program work for you is that if you don't have a project qualified through our program, you can move it into SEM, and they have a much bigger catch-all for any and all projects to get you savings. Something to keep in mind is the instant discount program. So this is kind of a separate program than what I work on, but essentially, if you have like internal labor and you're looking to make upgrades on your own, for example, or you're a contractor, for whatever reason, if you want to go to a distributor directly, we do have instant discount programs, and you can find a list of which distributors are part of our program on electricideas.com. Go to the at work rebates, and then distributor incentives. And there's a list of participating distributors. And the difference between our program and this program is, in this program, you have products that are immediately available. So when you go to purchase products like lighting at a distributor, or if it's a heat pump, boiler pump, water heater, smart thermostat, the rebates are directly applied at the point of purchase at the counter. So it's going to simplify the rebate process, much easier, eliminating all that paperwork. So definitely something to consider as an option for you, especially if you're making large purchases, multiple purchases, and you frequently go to a distributor. Okay, so in this one, they're saying new construction is eligible. Again, you have to be Indiana Michigan Power customer. So in this case, you can be residential and C&I. So again, that's a little different as well. You do have to make the purchase through a participating dealer or distributor, which again, you can find on electricideas.com. And the LED products must be Energy Star or DLC certified. HVAC products must be Energy Star or AHRI certified, and the product must be installed within 60 days of purchase. So that's a big point right there. Okay, no stocking of products. You got to use the product that you purchase, and the distributor must be registered and participating in the program. Okay, so let's see if there's what else here. Yeah, so I think, I think we've gone over all of this. What is the benefits of using our program? So it's going to go beyond that initial rebate. We want you to continue to invest in savings. You're going to see a decrease on your utility bill, hopefully, right? So when you make these, you're going to get the rebate money. You'll save money on your utility bill. There'll be a decrease in consumption in your facility. It's going to be great for your equipment. So, it's a better investment for the lifespan of your equipment. And it's great for the environment. So we hope that you consider participating with us and working with us. And I actually think it can be pretty fun. And I think we're good here. Let's see. Is there any other, oh, okay. I think we can be done, Jack. Yep. Let's see if there's anything else. Submitting your project. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, electricideas.com. Apply online. So there's an apply with PDF, apply online. If you want to apply with a PDF, you can always reach out to me. I can send you an application. I do think we're trying to get more people to apply online. Once you apply online, your application will be saved there, and you can always just go back and submit additional projects. So that's a huge benefit of applying online. And you can track all of your savings in one place. So that would be a big deal as well. Okay, so I mentioned what you need to submit: a recent utility bill and a W-9 to pay out. So wherever you want that money sent to you. To be eligible, you have to have a commercial meter account for my program. Start and completion dates, spec sheets on the equipment, and a quote, which you're already going to have. We definitely need the operating hours of your facility. And yeah, I mean, we're going to need to know the project scope, and we'll have to ask you some questions, most likely, especially if it's custom, on specific information about the equipment to calculate those kilowatt hour savings. And yes, yeah, we'll send my contact info. Yeah, so again, you're going to submit that application. So as soon as you're going to work on a project, let's say you're working on a project December 2025. We should still get an application in. Let's just get an application in. We open up a folder and we just start putting the docs in as you get it, so we can show proof of intent that you're looking to do this project. Once you do get all the docs, and we'll move through a pre-approval review with engineering, they'll send you an offer letter of how much rebates they expect to save. And then once you install the equipment, we'll verify, hey, is the equipment running the way we were expecting? And we're going to do some verification, and then we'll send you that payment money. So if you are a trade ally, or if you know anyone who's a trade ally, we're always looking to expand our trade ally portal. We are also looking to engage with our trade allies more. So if you have a contractor you particularly like working with, we're always looking for feedback. Hey, who do you really like working with? Who have you had a good experience with? Get onto our newsletter. So if you get onto electricideas.com, you can sign up for our newsletter and get updates on program changes, whether you're a trade ally or a customer. And then if you are a trade ally, it does give some visibility for customers. It allows you to stay competitive. We have leads on projects for you, and it's just a really good way to stay involved with the community. Okay. And I'll put my email in the chat box, but you can also reach out to saveenergyatwork@aep.com. That will be our team as well. We have a few amazing program coordinators, so they'll reach out to you very quickly if you submit anything through there.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Yep, thank you so much.
I know we had one question real quick from Jeremy at Wuchi asking, is it only for upcoming projects and back to 90 days? Or I guess it's an and or, I'm not sure which way the question's going.
Yeah, so prescriptive projects, we can look back 90 days. So if you've done any lighting, HVAC, commercial refrigeration, if it's been in the last 90 days, definitely reach out and we'll see if we can get you in. And then upcoming. So anything upcoming, it could be prescriptive, it could be custom. So definitely get in touch.
Perfect. Kirby, it's all you. Oh, go ahead, Kelsey.
No, just thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name's Kirby Dipert, and I've, excuse me, got a frog in my throat, apparently. I have been participating with the NIPSCO Energy Efficiency Program. It will be 8 years at the end of this month. May 31st, I started with Lockheed Martin, and TRC Companies, Inc. purchased our group from Lockheed Martin in 2019. So that is the third-party administrator who I work for, which is TRC. So I've been doing this for a while. I've got a stupid amount of education. I'm just finishing my renewable energy and sustainable system master's degree next spring, and all I have left is my capstone course. That's been very interesting. So I have a good knowledge of HVAC principles as well as renewable energy and almost everything else under the sun. Next slide. So I'm going to have a brief introduction, which I just did. Oh, I should say, by the way, so I have been doing this for quite some time. The company has moved me into a new role, which I will no longer serve as a project-related field engineer. I am going to be working with our Trade Ally Network, and I'll be managing up those efforts to increase and leverage relationships with our trade allies. However, Rachel Lines, who is on the call, came back to TRC, joined the team again, and she will be moving into the South Bend area. Unfortunately, we didn't get the word on that before the presentation was approved, so her name and contact information is not on there. Rachel, if you're able to put that in the chat, I'm sure that would be appreciated. So intro, eligibility, we're going to talk about the programs real briefly, how to participate. I'm going to mention something about the Trade Ally, and then there will be questions if anybody has any. So as you can see, I'm still in the list for field engineer contact information. So instead of me there in the, oh, no, there is Rachel. Oh, awesome. Cool. That's great. All right. So I must have been looking at an old slide this morning, but that's Rachel's contact information. I'm listed down there as a Trade Ally coordinator, and that's our territory, all these counties. Next slide. So in 2023, we completed 1,500 energy efficiency projects. Through those, we saved 1.5 million therms, which is a unit of gas measurement, which is what we pay in the South Bend area, therms only because it's not an electric territory. And we issued over almost $10 million in cash incentives, including electric projects. Next slide. So here's how you can tell if you're eligible. You look on your bill, commercial customers look on their bill, you'll have a rate code somewhere in there. And it's either going to be 221, 225, or 251, which is dependent bill. And all that means is you're still qualified. You still pay into it, but you can buy your gas from a third party like BP. So it's kind of an interesting concept. If you have questions about eligibility, call myself, call that 800 number, or call Rachel or email us and we can let you know. Next. We also have a small business direct program. Again, as Kelsey pointed out, that's a special group of folks, customers as well as trade allies. They use a little bit less energy than like a standard commercial customer. For example, most schools would not qualify because they use quite a bit of electricity as well as gas. But you can tell who you are by looking at your meter. Next slide. I'm going to talk about the business programs now. So there's two. I'll cover custom in a minute. Prescriptive is very similar to what Kelsey said a minute ago. It's one-on-one. And so we have a whole variety. I think there's over 125 measures, maybe like 150 now. 150 separate measures that you can get at trcsavesenergy.com or from the NIPSCO website as well. Okay, so what these are one-on-one replacements. Like if you're an electric customer, it'd be a tube for a tube. On gas, it could be a steam trap for a steam trap. Things of that nature. Replacement boilers. You can replace up to a 500,000 input BTU boiler under our prescriptive program. So there's a lot in the prescriptive program. It's very easy to apply and get those incentives. Next slide. So again, per unit rates, it's so much a therm for like a boiler tune-up. There's no pre-approval required as long as it's under $10,000, and there's no pre-inspection required as long as it's under $10,000. And if it's over $10,000, then generally we do have to come out and do a pre-inspection, and you need a pre-approval. If you're installing it yourself, it just needs to be up to $3,000. Next slide. So there's a lot of things available and eligible under the prescriptive program. As you can see, some are listed here. A lot of stuff in the kitchen. Energy Star dishwashers, ranges, warming ovens, all that sort of thing. We also have available hot water heaters, tankless, instant, all that's found on the prescriptive. And there's a lot of gas HVAC items that you can get as well, including boiler tune-ups, controls, damper controls, steam traps, pipe insulation, and that's paid out at so much per foot, depending on the size of the insulation. That's a real nice one that people. So if you have insulation that's coming off, if you have an old, for example, this was a real winner for us. If you have an old boiler system, for example, I looked at a school corporation in the area, and they just had just a boatload of insulation that was the old hard kind, and it was flaking off. And so they were eligible for some nice incentives for replacing that pipe insulation. So, you know, always look for that as well. Next slide. So if you're a factory and you're using compressed air, one of the things that I constantly used to see was a compressor running in a factory, and they have a damper in some aluminum sheet metal, and dumping all that hot air outside. Well, you reverse it. If you dump the hot air inside and use that warm air, we can calculate a heat recovery savings for you. So that's really something that you want to take a look at on the prescriptive side as well. There's some agricultural gas stuff, heat recovery, thermal curtains, and film on greenhouses. Next slide. And this is the custom program. So it's exactly what it means. Custom, everybody knows custom means like what? One of a kind. You make it up as you go. Almost anything under the sun. It really is. If we can determine if there's some therm savings there, we can make it a project. We've had some pretty elaborate things from laser cutters to injection molding machine, heating blankets. I had a project for a kosher cleaning system, which used a specified type of boiler, and it was kosher cleaning for agricultural trailers. We did a big grain dryer project over New Carlisle, which was a huge, huge incentive. So I can say anything under the sun. And so we help with that calculation. It's based on therm savings on the first year. And other things you can get on a custom program includes retro commissioning, which I'll talk a little bit more in a minute. But all the custom requires pre-approval. And so make sure you don't go out and buy anything before you apply and receive the offer back from us. Next slide. So here's the rates. I said a minute ago, $1 a therm. Pre-approvals are required on all custom. Pre-inspection is required also if it's over 10,000. Now we relaxed that a little bit. It used to be every custom project, no matter what. But we've been real active. We've been real successful. So we kind of changed those guidelines, and it's only absolutely required if it's over $10,000, unless you're installing it or doing your work yourself, and it's 3,000. Yeah, that's repeated. I don't know why. Program cap is up to 75% of the install costs, and that includes material, labor, and any applicable taxes. Next slide. So retro commissioning is very cool. I spent quite a bit of time in the building controls, building automation industry, working for JCI. And this is something that the control contractors can come out and they can, and I hate this phrase, tweak. It's called tweak, tweaking the system. And what they'll do is they'll come out and they'll readjust all the scheduling and making sure that the dampers are opening and everything's working properly. Well, since there's no capital outlay, this is not a capital project that falls under the retro commissioning. And you can get retro commissioning cash for gas projects. You require a recognized retro commissioning contractor, which we have several we work with. But it's a blessing. It's a really nice concept to consider. Next slide. Here's our SBDI. It's very similar to what Kelsey already talked about. It's for folks that, if you're an electric customer, you would have to use a much smaller amount of electricity. Since these are all gas customers, there's also designation in there for SBDI, and you would use, as what was mentioned earlier, a special SBDI trade ally. We have a list of those, and it's available on our website. Next slide. So SBDI Trade Ally can implement it. The rates are the same. As I mentioned earlier, it's a 1-for-1. So all the labor is fully baked into each measure amount. There's no pre-approval unless it's over 10 grand. No pre-approval unless it's over 10 grand. I don't know why it's duplicated in there. No post-inspection required unless it's over 10 grand. And the program cap is up to 100% of the total measured costs, including material, labor, and taxes. Next slide. So under SBDI, we also have some measures such as, new boilers, new water heaters, gas furnaces, furnace tune-ups, steam trap replacement, hot water lockout, HTHV. So those are high temperature, high volume direct gas heaters. And those are things like thermocycler or Cambridge. They're 96% efficient. And so those are available, as well as HVLS fans. And those are the large fans that you see slowly turning in places like, the exercise facility that I can't seem to think of right now. Anyway, it's not important, but big fan, large diameter, slow speed, low volume, but they can save a lot of energy. Next slide. Okay, so how do you participate? You contact a program approved SBDI trade ally. And they will actually come out and they'll do all the heavy lifting for you. This is what I like about the SBDI program. A lot of building owners they're all smart, extremely bright in everything they do. But some of this gets a little bit into the weeds for them. So the SBDI entities will come out, they'll do all the heavy lifting. They'll actually do the survey for you. They'll do the application. They'll show you what your incentive is going to be. They'll submit the application. And they'll basically walk you through the whole project. And you get paid a little bit more money on those. And it's just well worth considering that if you qualify. Next slide. So new construction is also very cool in my opinion. I've had a lot of new construction projects and many in the South Bend area. You go ahead and forward the slide. So there's actually a handful of them that I've been able to get money for. South Bend, I'm pretty proud of that, as well as Mishawaka. The Giraffe Building was one. There's been some work at Morris Center, Morris Performing Arts. Sorry. There's a new church over off from Portage. And there's a program that we're still waiting for the application, which is the new Dream Center, the MLK. That one's underway, but there's money available for those as well. So what it does is we use things called ComChecks, which was mentioned in Kelsey's slide as well, unless you have submittals. And we can use that information to put the application together for you. If it's new construction, we're not going to have a meter or a count, most likely, unless it's an addition. So we pretty much do the application 90% of it for you, as long as you're providing us with the information. But again, it'll pay $1 per therm on all savings estimated under that, under those documentations on the application. So if you have something coming up, please, by all means, we miss on a lot of them. I mean, we miss out on probably most of them, to be honest with you, because the customers don't realize they're eligible. They're all eligible. And the reason is because you need a whole year's worth of energy use to determine if you can decide not to participate in the program. And on gas, that would be called transporter. So a big customer like Memorial Hospital, for example, is a transporter. So all they do is they just pay for the pipes. They don't pay for the gas. So any large user would not qualify for this program. Next slide. Rates are $1 a therm again. Pretty much everything's the same as I said before. Pre-approval, yes, we'll come out. We'll even take pictures of the site. And the cap is 100% of the total measure cost, including material, labor, and applicable taxes. Next slide. So how to participate? There's the website there, NIPSCO.com, energy efficiency. It's real easy to use and navigate. You can call one of us. We can help you. And also there's materials available on the TRC microsite, which is trcsavesenergy.com. There's actually some real nice case studies on there. Lots of marketing collateral. The applications are on there. And so it's really just sort of a host of lots of things that you can use to help with your project. I think that's all I have, except for the contact. Well, no, I guess not. So check presentations. That's something else that I always enjoyed. I was probably one of the largest people in terms of the amount of check presentations we did. So once you complete your project, if you're interested, we did one from Mishawaka Schools. We did one from Mishawaka City Hall. That top one is the Goshen wastewater treatment plant. That was a big project. So we'll come out and we'll bring a 6-foot check, and the customer will actually reach out to the media for them to do a press release and take the photos. But it's kind of a nice way of bragging to the community or to your colleagues that you've done the right thing by entering into an energy efficiency project. So that's kind of a cool thing to do. Next slide. Trade Ally Network. Talked about this ad nauseum. They're on the website. They're contractors that work with us, not for us. They're independently owned and operated. They've been qualified, they've been vetted, and they're listed on that site right there. Next slide. Questions? We're at the end. Looks like I finished in time.
Thank you, Kirby. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, then does anyone have any questions for either Kelsey or Kirby for Indiana Michigan Power or NIPSCO? If you do, you can either put it in the chat or you can unmute.
The only question I won't entertain is why is my gas bill so high? Not saying it is, but we get questions like that.
Got one question in the chat. Two questions.
Well,
Go back, sorry.
what did it say? I missed it. It was
Are restaurants' gas bills sales tax exempt?
I'm not sure. I mean, it really, I would have to look at the bill. Just there's no blanket answer that I can provide on that question. I'd be willing to look at it if they want to email me the bill.
Okay, and I can work with them to get
Yeah.
that to you. And then for Yvonne, we'll be sending a link to the presentation afterwards with the recording as well. Someone else is typing in the chat. Oh, the same thing, yeah. Go ahead, Kirby.
I was just going to say, we have some time. I'd be happy to explain. This is something that would benefit both I&M customers as well as NIPSCO customers. If you don't mind, Kelsey, I can actually explain why there's money available for this, because most people don't understand. That's a question I get all the time. I don't mind explaining it. It's very simple. People say, well, why would they want us to use less energy? So if you'd like, I can speak to that.
Yeah, we got time.
Okay. So here's the deal. When it's 20 below zero in February, or when it's 107 degrees in August, both Indiana Michigan Power and NIPSCO, we have plant equipment that generates power, and we have a certain amount of gas available through that distribution. So when it gets super cold like that or super hot like that, there's a good chance we're going to run out of capacity. May not be able to air condition everybody's homes. So when that happens, we have to both buy power on the third market, which is power we're not making. So it's going to cost us more. So it's not profitable. So what we do is we put this rider on the utility ratepayers' bills, and they pay into the program. We're trying to encourage people to be more energy efficient. So in those weather extreme times, you're going to be able to meet the customer demands through the capacity that you have. And that's both on the gas side and on the electric side. There's only so much power that each can produce, right? And every year there's more houses built, there's more businesses built. So it keeps going up. So we have to continue to encourage people to go efficient, to use less power. So under those extreme weather conditions, we'll have the resources available to meet the needs of the ratepayers.
I appreciate it, Kirby.
Yeah.
And Rachel has put her contact information in the chat as well for anyone that needs it.
Was there another question or no?
I saw two different people typing. I haven't seen anything come up yet. I guess I can give another second, and if it doesn't come up, then I'll just move along.
I think an important thing to mention, if it isn't obvious, is that people can submit applications at any time throughout the year. So this is just like a rolling, it seems so obvious, but just it's a rolling application. So as soon as you are aware of a project, just and again, if get in touch. And then again, if we have a working relationship now, like if you reach out now and just introduce yourself to me and kind of put me and probably Kirby would be the same way, or Rachel. Get a relationship going so we can do some check-ins on your site and submit applications as those projects come up.
And Kirby, I got one more question for you, which is from Wuchi Japanese restaurant downtown South Bend. It said, for our existing gas equipment, are we eligible if someone can come out to do a site survey since we're not professionals for the equipment?
So so are they interested in replacing it or just to look at it and see what we have to say about it?
Jeremy, you can also come off mute if you'd like to ask it that way. Or you said for both.
Oh, we could probably do that. I mean, we do assessments. We can take a look and see, how old it is, possibly if there's any information or data sheets. But the idea is to show you where you can save energy. So that would be the thrusting comment would be, well, you have a South Bend range, it's 40 years old. You could invest in a new range and it would save you whatever it is. I mean, you would get an Energy Star prescriptive rebate. And that's something that I could coordinate with Rachel. I'm sure we'd be happy to come out and take a look at it.
And I guess this question's for both Kelsey and Kirby. Have either of you supported any heat recovery projects for food service or restaurants?
Yeah. Yeah, generally you have, so there's two ways of doing that. One way I really like is called demand control ventilation. It's referred to as DCV. And we find that a lot in kitchen equipment because in a kitchen, they have to have a lot of air turnover. So they're exhausting hot air. And when you use a DCV system, you recover that heat and you can redistribute it back into the restaurant. So I've myself personally been involved in a handful of those projects.
And for myself, I have not been involved in heat recovery at a food service or restaurant, but we did get that question at an industrial level heat capture from an oven recently. So already exploring that at the industrial level. And Alex, if you know of a customer who's interested in that, definitely interested to explore that with you if it's electric.
And then I believe this is for you, Kelsey. For the small business program, how would I know how would we know if we are 100? How would I know if we are basically at the 150 kilowatt demand peak?
Yeah, so check your utility bill, and it should be obvious on there if you do have any questions on that. I mean, pretty much if you're a restaurant, I would think you would be SBDI or gas station. There's just certain businesses that I would think would qualify. But in general, you're going to want to check your utility bill. So if you have any questions on that, reach out to me. You can send me your utility bill and we'll confirm that you do qualify for the program.
A real super easy way to do that is just take a picture of the meter and email it to. I think we both have systems, right, that house all the customer accounts. And in my case, on the gas, that's not as easy to do because the gas meter is not that. Many times it's stamped on a piece of tin that wraps around the meter housing, but on the electric meter, it's right on the face. There's 7 digits on the electric meter. You can find out anything you want about that. But as Kelsey said, send the bill, and that's very helpful.
And we got one more question. So this is from Matt Grable with the South Bend City Church. We recently renovated one portion of the South Bend Tribune as a church and put in all new equipment for both gas and electric. Is there a way to apply retroactively for the equipment we installed? We have a phase 2 to the project, so we'll reach out before we start that portion.
How long ago? How long ago was the equipment started?
A month ago.
Might be able to do something for you. We have an exception program. I'll have Rachel send us an email and we'll follow up with you. And then as far as Kelsey, you'll have to answer that from the electric's perspective.
Yeah, so Matt, definitely get in touch with us for that phase 2. So now you're aware of the program, you have an intent to use the program for that phase 2. So let's definitely process rebates for you on that phase 2. We might be able to get an exception for you on that phase 1, but I can't guarantee it. So either way, we can get you rebate on that phase 2 most likely. So let's get in touch.
And then one last one. When is the best time to discuss project ideas, either prescriptive or custom?
Do you have a budgeting year? I mean, do you start what? I guess I want to know a little bit more. Are you you have some things coming up, or are you going to be getting some cash inflows, or is there a new budget, funding budget coming up in the next month or so? All that really has to do with it, but you could talk about them anytime. But if you're getting close, the closer you are to it, to making a pulling the trigger, we really already want to be talking to you.
Yeah, I would say similar to Kirby for myself. I'd say the best time to get in touch is now. You can view me as a paid for consultant through Indiana Michigan Power. So I'm always available. I live locally and you can always reach out. We can meet up. So now would be the best time. And if you want to follow the budget year and you have, a list of projects that you're looking to explore in December, November, October, as soon as you know what you're going to do for that budget year and calendar year, then you can also reach out as well.
Well, I appreciate it. And then I have just a handful of slides on our EASY program, and then we'll be done. So for those that are participating in our EASY program for this year, just a quick overview of the roadmap. Currently, between now and June, you should be collecting quotes. And then by June, have the quotes all done and sent over to us. And then the overall deadline is for completing the grant agreement, which is in November. And keep in mind, the project does not have to be completed by November 18th, just the completed grant agreement. And then if there are any questions on EASY, you can contact me here. And that is all. Thank you all for attending today. If you have any additional questions for Kelsey or Kirby, feel free to either reach out to them or send it to me, and I can send it over to them as well.
I wanted to thank you for providing this opportunity that we can explain our programs. I very much appreciate it.
I appreciate it as well.
You guys.
Okay. Kelsey's frozen. Oh, there you are.
Alrighty. So I guess it's over. So thank you.
Yeah. So you and
Nice
Rachel, should touch base, and I would recommend at least a coffee or every now and then just to talk about things coming up, because we see stuff you don't see and vice versa.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I wasn't aware that Rachel was joining your team. So I was thinking about that. I was like, that's cool. She'll be in the South Bend territory and
Yep.
we can
Trying to jump in or what?
So we can strengthen that partnership between the programs. So
well, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you as well. Thanks so much.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Yep, thank you.